Prior to the 1870s, the speed at which humans could generate and share information was strictly limited by the physical anatomy of the human hand. The corporate office relied entirely on manual transcription, turning every ledger and memo into a grueling, low-throughput bottleneck. The dominant style of business writing was copperplate. To execute this script legibly, a clerk had to constantly alternate between delicate, hair-like upstrokes and heavy, pressure-driven downstrokes. This constant modulation of downward pressure required intense, sustained isometric contraction of the hand's intrinsic muscles, like the lumbricals, as well as the forearm flexors. This chart graphs manual transcription speed against neuromuscular failure rates. Thomas Edison extensively tested this limit and found a hard biological ceiling. When he pushed a writer to produce 49 words per minute, their neuromuscular coordination broke down, resulting in complete illegibility. A 19th century business could not easily duplicate or distribute its directives. Bureaucratic expansion was trapped entirely by the physical friction of ink and flesh. Overcoming the physical limitations of the human body required mechanical advantage. What followed was a decades-long engineering arms race to reinvent human kinematics. In 1874, the Scholes and Glidden typewriter entered the market. It represented the first major mechanical leap to solve spatial indexing on a page. It relied on an escapement mechanism, adapting clockwork technology to convert the stored potential energy of a coiled carriage spring into strictly metered incremental lateral movement across the paper. For decades, a myth circulated that the QWERTY layout was designed to intentionally slow typists down, to prevent primitive mechanical type bars from jamming. The historical record reveals something entirely different. Early typewriters were used by telegraphers transcribing Morse code. Inventor Christopher Latham Scholes used statistical letter pair frequency analysis to ergonomically place frequently paired Morse code letters within easy reach for rapid sequence striking. In 1878, a law clerk named Frank Edward McGurran mapped the entire keyboard to his proprioceptive memory. By resting all 8 fingers on a designated home row and removing visual targeting, the brain could bypass its slower optical processing centers. Relying on motor cortex sequences and muscle memory drastically reduced input latency. Typists easily pushed output to well over 100 words per minute. Touch typing eliminated the human cognitive bottleneck. The ultimate speed limit of information generation shifted away from the human mind and firmly onto the mechanical hardware itself. To match new input speeds, hardware evolved. Towering downstrike machines were outpaced by the compact frontstroke paradigm. The Underwood linkage was a travel multiplier. A short fulcrum distance converted a slow finger tap into a rapid arc, whipping a lead slug into the paper at 5 meters per second. Sustaining this mechanical speed exacted a specific physiological toll on the body. Modern surface electromyography reveals how the typewriter concentrated intense physical strain directly into the extrinsic muscles of the forearm. Counterintuitively, the act of actively holding the finger suspended against gravity while hovering or the keys creates a higher constant static muscular load on the extensor muscles than the downward strike itself. Typists also consistently exert 2 to 7 times more raw physical force than required to actuate a stiff mechanical key. This excessive force causes them to bottom out, sending kinetic shockwaves back up through the phalanges and straight into the vulnerable median nerve. Mechanical engineering solved output speed, but inadvertently traded scribe's cramp for modern repetitive strain injuries. It moved the physical toll of office work from the intrinsic muscles of the hand directly into the nervous system. The electromechanical pinnacle of this engineering arrived in 1961 with the IBM Selectric, replacing the jamming type bars with an interchangeable spherical type ball. Hidden inside was an intricate whiffletree linkage functioning as a digital to analog converter, encoding mechanical binary to instantly rotate and tilt the ball to exact coordinates. To maximize the output of this machinery, corporate management brought in scientific management experts like Frank and Lillian Gilbreth. They used chronocyclographs, time-lapse photography with finger lights, to track exact human kinematics, stripping away every wasted hesitation motion from the typist's physical workspace. At the same time, intermediate data buffering technologies emerged. The invention of mechanical audio recording allowed executives to dictate at 150 words per minute into a wax cylinder, fully decoupling a manager's raw thoughts from the typist's physical output. This decoupled system permanently fractured the corporate workflow, completely divorcing the typist's mechanical role from the upwardly mobile career trajectory of the manager. Typing was rapidly recategorized and aggressively marketed as women's work. By 1930, single women made up an overwhelming majority of the clerical workforce, filling vast industrialized typing pools across the globe. The engineering drive to bypass the scribe's biological limits ultimately segmented the office into two distinct classes: the strategists who think and the mechanical processors who type. This biomechanical evolution turned the clerical pool into a permanent, gendered department, altering the long-term career trajectories and pay scales of the global workforce.